Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to LARPs and Tarps, where we LARP as well as TARP. I'm Tom, with your co-host, Kerry.
Hi.
And Morgan.
I'm the co-host and you're not.
We've never done this before, but what a fun format. Hello, everybody.
I'm trying something fresh.
Apparently we're co-hosts and you're a guest.
Yeah, hi, I am the guest of the podcast.
Look at me. I am the captain now.
I'm such a good guest. I've been on every episode of the podcast.
You're happy that we're not calling you the star of the podcast anymore, though, right?
Gross. Yeah, it makes me.
Tristan's ego just takes over everything like a cloud of glory.
Like I said, the only reason I've been on every episode of this podcast is because I am unemployed. So anyone looking to employ a
fantastic human being.
Oh, thank you so much. I felt like I couldn't big myself up, but you can.
Yeah.
Give me a ring. I'll give you my CV. Sunday, fun day, some might say.
Sunday was probably my slowest day, but I tend to find Sundays are.
Did you monster on Sunday?
I did not. So that brings me to my first point. It was my first choice of do I monster or do I take the day off?
Oh, yeah, of course, because it was the Seven Nation Army, but you obviously couldn't participate with your injury.
Bum, 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 bum. I was so gutted I couldn't join the Seven Nation Army. But no, it was probably going to be it was the first opportunity for me to monster as Druge. And that was so tempting.
You could have been lightly armoured as well.
I could have been, but all my kit
I think you would have got
is Jotun red.
Yeah.
With my being in the league and having a red-black kit, it's really easy for me to play a Jotun and look the part, but not a Druge.
I reckon you would have got away with it.
And I really wanted to play a Druge. They're so nasty and horrible.
You've been saying how much you wanted to play a Druge.
But at the same time, it was also another great role-playing opportunity for Nietzsche to go see off my beautiful flock, prepare them for the battle.
Watch them fly.
So, yeah, I'll start off by saying the first thing I did on the Sunday was have me breakfast and go and join the muster in the league, seeing the hubbub and what was happening.
I've never heard someone say hubbub as two words before.
Hubbub.
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 How would you go see the hubbub?
Hubbub. Yes, see the hubbub, give a nice motivational speech. So,
are you going to replicate that for us from now?
No, I can't do it from the top of my head. Essentially, it came down to don't fuck up.
Yeah.
This is our chance to get our name out there. To which a very interesting opportunity did come about. One of the things that the League National Bloc was doing was bringing in a ritualists so they could cast this ritual and locate a Druge sorcerer or something along those lines, or some big goal to get to. Yeah. And our friend Sirio, the banner bearer in the National Bloc, was looking for someone to take his cousin to do this.
Okay.
So I decided it'd be a great opportunity for the Jolly Jackdaws to get their name out there.
For the Nietzsche train.
For doing the Nietzsche train. We are going to trade that, mark that. And do the escort mission. And yeah, they all volunteered to do it. They were happy to do it. And I thought, yeah, that's going to be a fantastic opportunity to show what we can do.
That is awesome.
Get our name out there with the rest of the block. And I can't possibly fuck up on this mission because I'm not there.
You're the Count of Delegation.
The Count of Delegation.
Supervisor Nietzsche.
The master of overextending our political businesses and affairs. But another thought that went through my mind. This is probably going to be one of the only times I do not go to the battlefield in Anvil when I physically can't.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to experience Anvil without everyone else being there and seeing what it's like.
Yeah.
Which was quite interesting. But I'll go back to seeing the flock off. What did you do that morning, Kerry?
Well, first thing I did, I'd arranged to meet the individual from Navarre who was walking around with Pepe the squirrel, his companion, who was looking to get him made as getting to pass his citizenship test. So I'd heard about the citizenship tests the day before when I was at the academy, and I told her that I would take her to go and ask about that, basically. As I obviously had made some connections there. So the first thing I did was I went to the academy with a squirrel and asked about what's it called? Just said it.
Citizenship
Citizenship
test.
test. Sorry, it's been
For-
quite a long day.
For a squirrel.
For a squirrel, yes. And we went in, and unfortunately, we'd missed it because they do those on a Saturday, apparently, which is a shame. But it's okay because we were assured, we were given some information. Pepe was given a lovely little leaflet to study. He has his own little booklet so that he can be prepared for the citizenship test. There is revision to do. And we will be going with him in E1 on the Saturday, and we shall be taking him for a citizenship test, and hopefully he shall pass. I mean, they did say you need to be able to talk to pass the citizenship test, as it is an interview. Though I imagine that his handler may be able to assist him there.
He'll be the first imperial squirrel.
He will
I'm sure.
be.
That's very
This is
exciting.
what I love about a little group. You preparing to march off to certain death, and you going to the citizenship test of a squirrel.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I've contacted her out of character as well now. Added her on the Book of Faces. And I will be going with her, definitely. She said I
Empire
could
is a
come with her.
multifaceted event, and if you want to make a squirrel pass their citizenship
Yeah.
test, that's more
For
power to you.
clarification, this is a small toy squirrel. I have heard that there may be some kind of taxidermy or more lifelike looking squirrel floating around in Navarre that someone's carrying around. But I'm talking about a very cute little toy squirrel.
Is it real in game or is it a teddy?
I think it's real in game.
That always throws me off. Whenever someone brings out like a puppet or a teddy, I'm like, is this real or is this a puppet?
Yeah,
I
like
don't
Derek
know
in the
what.
league. I don't know.
That should be something we do, Morgan. You just carry me around like a puppet.
Just like draw little lines like you're a ventriloquist for me.
And then just like,
Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
It's me, Tristan.
no, you're Nietzsche.
Or am I Tristan? Rip off a mask and it's your face under me.
Nietzsche, when did you put that mask on?
This episode's already taken a weird turn. For those who don't know, we record this straight after work, so we're a bit loopy.
Yeah.
Other than Morgan.
Wow,
least
those of us who work.
Oh, deep cut. Unemployment rules.
I mean, yeah, I kind of wish I was unemployed.
Yeah, fucking. Well, you know the way the economy's going.
Can I be paid to be unemployed? That's the question.
Yeah. So it was. I can't really remember because I remember I scrounged from breakfast from a neighbouring tent.
How hungover were you?
Not very. I didn't have much time to drink this event, which is why I'd love to go down on the Thursday because then you can get hammered with not care in the world.
I feel like you're somehow less hungover when you've been in a tent. I feel like the fresh air.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
Don't get it.
I also want to go on the Thursday next time, just because I think to have him to
Definitely.
roll said this, but I like interacting with people out
Yeah.
of character.
But also, it's like E1. Everyone's just come back from winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the marches.
It's been 6 months in a lot of 6 months in a lot of cases since we've seen each other. And
Yeah,
it's good to get to know how everyone's doing.
Yeah, but yeah. So it was anyway. I wasn't really hungover. I scratched for breakfast from someone, and it was as per kind of usual mustering stuff, helping nobles get into their armor, tracking down Liao. I ran over to the field marshal, grabbed a fat stack of Liao, which was really good. So we had that, and we had to take them to the High Exorcist, and then to the Order of the Argent Lily. Got united, got ready to go with the Winged Lions, and we were going to be the roving exorcism using on the field, kind of getting our plan together, getting it all sorted. What was really fun, so this was really interesting. So we made our way over to the Sentinel Gate, and so the High Exorcist has got some magical robes that allow you to do exorcisms with greater effect. The High Exorcist is a freeborn, and part of freeborn half magic is that some of your soul is in your clothes.
Yeah.
So you can't really give other people your clothes because it's like giving your soul away. Part of Dornish half magic is you can gird as someone. So you can put on items of people's clothes and manifest them and be them. Now, to do that with freeborn clothing is quite abhorrent to freeborn. It's like, that's like giving away my soul. But there's this really beautiful moment where the High Exorcist was like, right, this is important. Today is important. We're going to die if this doesn't go well. And we had a moment where she was girded as the High Exorcist. It was a really cool moment of being like, my soul is safe with you. It was just a really cool moment to see that all kind of play out. So then Lady Lordine, who was doing all the exorcisms, had the robes put on her. Really cool moment. And then we were getting ready to go to the field. Usual kind of clamour outside, chanting and Dornish people shouting and everyone just yelling and getting ready to go. It was really exciting.
Yeah, when mustering in the league, I was going around the Jackdaws handing out the little bits of Liao and True the Vein like a school teacher. It's like,
Look after each other, kids!
it's dangerous out there. Take this.
Oh yeah, I feel like I managed to sell a potion to one of your Jackdaws while you were doing that.
Yeah, I got you to come over. It's like, quick, sell this potion.
What have you got?
Yeah, it's a great time to sell potions, I think, just before a battlefield. But one of the things I did say to them all is like, okay, my beautiful flock, if one of you dies on the battlefield or you can't retrieve them, just make sure you retrieve the Liao. That stuff's expensive. That's our coffers you're taking out. Bring it back.
Classic Nietzsche move.
Penny pinching. This battle cost us everything. But I did take the opportunity to march up to the Sentinel Gate with the League and the Block. And I have to say, this shows how much Empire really can affect you. Because seeing every nation mustered, ready to do their part, the speeches, the banners, the music, the drums,
Yeah, got
everyone just talking about what they're going to do, what the plan is. It's so atmospheric. And just my heart dropping in sadness seeing them all march through the Sentinel Gate. And I actually...
Without you.
Without me. And I actually stood there for a couple of minutes, heartbroken, looking at the Sentinel Gate, just like, will they be coming back?
It really fucking hits you. I think the weirdest thing to happen at LARP is feeling real life emotions.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I've said, I've cried at LARP. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
You nerd.
But it's you. But like, it's
No.
so
The bleed.
visceral, and you're like, what the fuck? You're right. You're like, nothing's happening. They're off to go play swords.
Sort of stabbing each other with foam halberds, casting make-believe spells. It's crazy.
But it's still,
We had to be fair, in E3 when we heard, there was all those rumours flying around about all the freeborn had died. Like, I don't even know any of the freeborn, and I was still sad, and I was like, hang on.
it's crazy.
These are fictional people who I don't even know, who haven't really died.
So I guess the objective of the day, right? So a lot of the skirmishes have been focused around making this battle easier. Because the Druge had been doing...
And a lot of them had failed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Badly, wasn't
we
it?
had managed to topple the miasma towers, so we didn't need to be anointed. I know you guys got anointed, but we didn't need to be anointed.
Financial mistake. No, it's prosperity. We're spreading prosperity.
That's 10 crowns down the drain.
It filtered back into the empire. I mean, if only the economy was as lucrative.
That was also
as...
10 crowns that go to our good friends at First Spark Carter.
Yeah.
So it's going to people we like.
But still.
It's a blow. That's overthrown.
At least there's no tax on it. Sorry, I'm a bit politically charged today, aren't I? No.
But we got basically the objective was, so all the weekend we've been trying to do loads of stuff. Part of it was to stop the Tortured Souls being as prolific. We unfortunately failed on that one. So the Druge have been hemmed in Zenith. They are like cornered, basically. They are trying to get as many of their forces out as possible. But we are trying to stop that happening to their armies. Basically, we've got them surrounded, and we wanted them to fuck up their generals, fuck up their armies. So they're trapped. We finished them once and for all. The Druge were doing rituals on their generals to allow them to sneak out. I don't know if it was something like night magic or whatever. I don't really understand, but they were trying to get their generals out so they could leave, and then their armies would be able to leave. So this was one of those where the degrees of failure was just like, I think it was like every 10 minutes that passes, that's another failure.
Okay.
Kind of thing. And it would stop and interrupt the rituals to a point. They'd also thrown in loads of tortured souls, which are like people whose souls have been trapped in their bodies. They're basically like violent undead. That were just a distraction. That's all they were, but they were a terrifyingly dangerous distraction because they can possess people on the field, they can curse you on the field. So that's why our unit was dealing with them. And then everyone else was trying to deal with the Druge. And I think that's what your thing was. So trying to get them to the ritual site.
Yes, we were trying to get them to the ritual site so we could cast a ritual to find the rituals that we had stopped. Oh, that's from my understanding. Obviously, I wasn't in the field, so I missed out on a lot of that. But from my basic understanding of what was happening, we needed to cast a ritual to find the locations to stop their rituals. And then the Jackdaws would get the caster out again. I was very happy because the last thing I shouted to them going through the Sentinel Gate was, "On laughter we soar." And the fact that you saw them on the battlefield shouting our guild's motto makes me so happy.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't realise this until when we started recording, that I'm the only one here that actually went to the battle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got you know the perspective that we don't have. This is going to be the only time that happens, I feel.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but it was fucked.
Yeah.
But it was also a really good festival.
Yeah.
So through the Sentinel Gate, and there was some intergroup conflicts which I don't want to go into details of what our lance should be doing, which was a really intense role play, and one of those where I feel like as a player I didn't react in the way I should have. So one thing I need to lean into a lot more, it's really hard for me to do, is be a bit more angry, because changelings are like very quick to anger. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I need to lean into that a lot more. But it's really hard.
You don't want to feel like a dick.
Exactly.
We're British. We don't just...
You don't want to be like, fuck you. Especially because I'm in the Dawn where it's like, there's nobles involved now. But at the same time, it's part of the thing is like they'll say stuff that really fucks them up.
Think of inflation rates. Think of taxes.
No, I just need to get really mad. But that was some really interesting stuff. But then we moved into the forest quite quickly.
Yeah.
So we marched up the field, and there's like that, one of those, I think it's like one of the top gates, where the respawn point was on the Saturday. So we go through there, and this is where it all fucking went apeshit. So a couple of things. Before this, I'd had rituals cast on me, I had magical armor, so I had 12 hits, I had 3 hero points, I had loads of potion, I felt invincible. Magical sword, I felt...
Yeah. Cocky.
Yeah. We get through this like pinch point, so you've got all of these forces coming through. I felt like we were surrounded by Dornish. I think some people have already gone there. There was like a pack of Dornish, and we all kind of funneled in. It was like a crush getting in. Druge on all sides, as it always is. And then you see a Druge orc running around with an incense censer full of green mist, swinging it around.
I heard that fucks you guys up.
Oh, and you see that and you go, fuck. So
didn't he come at you from a blind spot so he got everyone in a certain rank?
So he came through from the back, from seemingly nowhere, and all of a sudden it's so loud in the battlefield, but so many people start screaming, "Archers! Archers, get him!" But he gets him within range. He's with us, and this green smoke starts filling up the whole area. For those of you who don't know, green smoke gives you, if you breathe it in, you get the venom condition.
You're in danger.
The venom condition means that your bleed count, if your base bleed count, so you can be bleeding out for 3 minutes before you die, changes to 30 seconds. So that means if you go down, you're very likely fucked.
Die, yeah.
I currently have a bleed time of 4 minutes, so from that going to 40 seconds is a lot.
And it was just this horrifying, see that realization, especially because it was a crush. There was Druge everywhere. People were going down, left, right, and centre.
I think the best advice I've heard from a lot of seasoned players is if you get venomed, just keep fighting like normal and safe. It doesn't affect you unless you go down.
Yep. A lot of people went down.
Yeah.
I think the last count I saw was 58 Dornish. And a lot of it was because of that venom. Now, here's where... It never affected me, but here's where I was confused on the rules. Yeah. So eventually, at one point, the entire area we were in was green. It was thick with this green fog. So everyone was basically venomed.
Yeah.
Later, it had cleared, and I went to one of the refs. I said, I have a question.
Yeah.
Am I still venomed? Because there's no venom fog left. And they were like, I said, have I got the venom condition? No, I haven't cured myself. And they said, I don't think so, no. So I went, okay, cool.
I thought you were venomed until the fog went, and you had to then cure yourself, but that was my understanding that you'd have to have a potion.
See, that was also initially mine, but I wanted to check. It never affected me, I never went down.
Okay.
And I also had a potion to deal with it if that was the case.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's one thing that I don't think...
It's clear.
There's a lot of new refs, though.
But yes, but it was kind of thing. They do talk about the new battle briefing, but it was hard to find online when I looked at it later. But it was one of those where I was like, I don't know if where people were at. I had a potion for it, so I would have been fine, like a blood arrow filter.
I've got 2 for
Yeah.
that. So I might just keep buying one every game, having
That's
a massive
all right,
bag.
because I can supply you with them.
It's fine because I later benefited from one of the monsters not knowing the rules as well, which was
Okay.
good. So,
Yeah.
so anyway, we go in. People falling down left, right, and centre, but I didn't really notice at this point. We saw people going down, but I was like, we need to get through. We need to get through. Keep going because we had a specific mission. We were looking for the tortured souls. Running around, and then someone gave a report of where they were. Someone was like, they're this way, and all these exorcists start, like, we all start rolling forward.
Yeah.
And it's a multinational group. There's all different people going with us, and I just keep shouting exorcists, and people keep being like, we're fucking here, we're next here. It's like, yeah, but not all of you are. Come on, marching through the trees, and then we see them, and they're kind of like, they're like Draugrs. They've got like white painted faces.
Yeah.
They're bleeding from the eyes. They've got big black cloaks, heavy armor. And pole arms, and you're like, right, okay, cool. How do we deal with this? A lot of it is we have one mage who could do entangle, which was useful, who was kind of like basically entangling them. Then one of our exorcists have to cast insight on them to find out what rank they are. And once they've done that, they need a number of exorcists potentially to do the exorcism. So what we were doing was we were trying to single them off, get them down, cleave their legs, channel, like, exercise, and we were running around doing that whilst Druge are harrying in, whilst tortured souls are harrying in. It's just, there's this trench, and the refs are freaking out because people are going to fall into it. Whilst there's Druge, it was absolute chaos. I was getting squished, like pushing people out of the way, trying to get to them. And it was like really close, and there was a crush, and we were falling forward, and then Lady Lordine kept getting impaled on the legs.
Oh, God.
So then I have to pick her up, take her away. Viridian heals her, gets her back, and then she gets cleaved again. I'm like, oh my God. There was such a panic. Eventually we start to move away because we deal with the majority of the tortured souls. We pull back. And again, I'm feeling pretty good. So I've got 12 hits. Magical sword that lets me do cleave. So I'm cleaving like nobody's fucking business. And then drinking every potion you've ever given me. Just like rip it over, like keep going. I think I had to fix one of my limbs at one point because I got cleaved, but I was fine because I had your stuff. Saved my life. Saved my life. And then I think one of my best bits of the fight was so we're marching away to another part of the objective. We've lost a good part of our banner. We start to head back towards where I heard some more tortured souls. And I don't have permission to say their name, but there's a really prominent lord in Dawn who's been there for 10 years, I think, who is being held up by someone bleeding, and everyone's like, no.
God.
And he was terminal because he got venom and went down. Apparently he'd been singing songs about dying in the woods, like by himself, just, and everyone was like there was tears, and then there was a lot of like, don't cry for him later, we don't have time, and people like, I can't, it's like, you fucking focus right now, fight. People fight through tears, and it was just like, oh my God.
Oh, God.
So then everyone's fueled by rage.
So intense.
Oh, everyone's just filled now with like, fuck this, fuck them all, death to the Druge. And then there was some of my favourite fighting was, again, souped up, freshly healed, 12 hits, some wraiths. And I was being a bit nervous at first, and I saw like 2 of them by themselves. So I went, fuck it, I can do it. I was in between them with my sword. Smack, cleave, ran around the back of them. I think I took like 5 hits, 6 hits. So I would have normally been down. I was still up. It was really fucking cool. Just to be like fucking just them panicking as you get round, smacking them down, they go out, exercise them, get to the next one, exercise them. It's like, yeah!
From what I've heard about how it happened for the League, it went very differently.
Yeah.
I think the League just had a great time, the National
Yeah.
Bloc. Apparently, they broke a flank, and then they just kept coming round and breaking more flanks.
The League
like
did
what
a
we
lot
do.
of good shit.
Yeah.
I was so gutted not to be with them, hearing the League were doing what they were doing best.
Yeah.
But it would have fucked my ankle because apparently they were going at such momentum
Yeah.
and just fuck up a line, move forward, fuck up another line, move forward, just because they wouldn't give the Druge enough time to regroup.
They were on really good form. But this battle went for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just wanted to give the
No,
League National Bloc a
absolutely.
shout out when they deserve
Yeah.
it. And I don't think it was led by...
Weren't you getting compliments about your boys?
I was, but we'll deal with that later.
This battle was like an hour and a half. I think this is the longest I've ever fought for.
I was so jelly. I went back to the Sentinel gate at 11 thinking, they're usually back by now. Where are they? This must be going so badly.
No, it was a long fight. And then what happened? We'd fight some tortured souls. And then, I don't know how this happened. The refs were really sneaky. And I'd go to someone, be going around, putting my hand on shoulders. Can you see colours?
Yeah.
Can you see colours? Can you see colours? Almost to the point where I was like, people kept saying yes. I was like, it's a waste of time. I'd go, can you see colours? Almost go to walk off and I'd go, no. And I'm like, exorcist. And then you had to exercise this person because they're starting to get like, possessed and weird, and you're like, fuck.
Are you gonna have to edit when you shout, pretend to shout like exorcist so people can hear you?
Exorcist! I don't want to fuck up the mic. But literally, that happened like 2 or 3 times where I'd be going around checking out, can you see colours, can you see colours, can you see colours, can you see colours? And then they'd be like, just the occasional,
Oh, wait, no.
no.
Oh,
And
my
you're like,
God.
fuck. And then like you're burning through the out. It was really fucked. And that was a lot of repeat, find tortured souls, isolate, paralyze, and we got fairly good at it. There was a long period of marching. Oh, I saw the high exorcist who wasn't supposed to be anywhere near where we were. She was supposed to be near the gate, and then she was just with us. And I was like, hello. And I was like, you are far too close to the front lines. But they were having a great time directing. It was awesome. And then this was when some real good... So we were getting towards a point, and then I was with the high exorcist, and they were like, we're being told to retreat. I'm not retreating. We can't retreat. We're nearly done. Moves forward and goes, oh, I've told the league we're not retreating. 5 seconds later, the league, bulldoze forward, pushing the line forward. And that's when I heard, come on, boys, on laughter we soar! And I looked, and it was the league, your Jackdaws were coming in with the league. And I had a really funny moment where someone goes, finally, the professionals are here. I turned to it, I said, sorry, sir, you must be mistaken. No, these are the jolly Jackdaws. To which one of them turned around to me and said, what the fuck did you just say?
What, one of the Jackdaws did?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I said, I just wanted them to know where we're at. I said, like, well, better look out if you need healing. I said, don't you fucking dare heal me if I go down. I was like, I'll carry you through, you'll be fine. Some really good role.
If you lot are listening, I am so proud of you for this event. I was so genuinely heartbroken I couldn't be with you on your first battle, but I'm so proud of how you did.
Oh,
so
Papa Nietzsche.
Papa Nietzsche.
It was so funny hearing them be like, oh my God. And then we marched, and then I think we fucked them up. We stormed it. We'd had the retreat call, but we were like, no.
Fuck that.
We're so close to the ritual circle, we can do this. And yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, it was awesome. And then we had to do a fighting retreat still.
Yeah.
Because despite the fact we'd fucked up, there was a lot of fucking Druge. So we went back with the Seawolves, actually. Slow retreat back. Because the Druge were, there's a fuck ton of them still harrying us. The respawns must have been mental. There was not a point where it wasn't thick with Druge.
They were just stealing the respawns from the day before.
Yeah, exactly. I cleaved, I cleaved, that was it. So I had my venom oil. Saw a marshling wandering about by himself. Got my venom oil, put it on my sword, went up to it as it was trying to get to a group. 5 of us were going there. I smacked it and called venom, and it went down in one hit. Not supposed to work, apparently. That's supposed to be weakness, but that person got confused and went down. And as I went around, turned around, they went to go hit it. I said, don't worry, I've sorted it. And they went, oh, it's all the fun. And I was like, I dealt with it. But yeah, apparently that's not supposed to happen. It's supposed to be weakness. But it was still a really cool moment to walk up, put oil on my sword, grab it, watch it go down, put the sword away, walk off. It was a fucking sick moment.
I think another reason I was quite gutted I couldn't join the National Bloc this time, because it wasn't being led by the male General Barossa. It was being led by the other General Barossa, his sister. I think she's hurt her ankle for the year, and this is the first time she's been back on the field.
Happens a lot in the league then, does it?
Yeah, it's just because we're carrying the weight of every other nation that we get injured so much.
Get fucked.
Ooh, salty. But yeah, it would have been awesome to march under her and see how it was different to it was. And yeah, it just sounds like such a fantastic battle.
It was really intense. I couldn't believe how long it was, and how much fun it was.
Yeah, I remember waiting by the Sentinel Gate for you guys to get back. I came up specially, and I was just waiting. It's like, how's it gone? Where is everyone? And the first person I came across that I knew coming out was my mate Adam. from House Del Rondo.
Yeah, the Rondell.
Del Rondell.
You say Rondo all the time.
I know, and now I think it's.
It sounds like an Australian saying de Rondell. De Rondo, mate.
Del Rondell, put another shrimp on barbecue.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
I apologise to all of Australia.
We do have an Australian listener.
Shout out
Oh,
for
no.
you, Australian listener.
Oh, dear.
But yes, saw him. And he just marched out of the Sentinel Gate with 1,000-yard stare. And bear in mind, me and him are good friends, but we've never interacted in character before.
Yeah.
And he was like, I was like, how did the battle go? How did it go? Were you successful? I was like, it was horrible. So many dead. Two Dornish generals.
2 Danish generals.
One of them was married the day before.
Yeah.
He's dead. And I was like, oh my God, no. My flock, my precious babies are out there. If it's gone that bad for Dawn and generals, how did it go? And I can't believe how much my heart fucking soared when they all came back marching through happy as Larry. I'd even prepared, stood back to do a little bit if one of them came back dead. I was going to go up like Cedric Diggory's father from Goblet of Fire and be like, my boy! My boy! Really ham it up. Unfortunately, you all fucking lived, so you stole me with that moment. But I'm so proud of you.
Time.
It was really good fun, but in character was harrowing.
Yeah.
The hospital was rammed the minute we got off the field.
I actually, when going to wait for them, stood quite a bit back and let a lot of people mill around in front of me for a little bit, because my understanding was there was a high possibility of everyone coming back cursed and all pandemonium break loose.
Yeah, I
so
get
I thought,
that.
Nietzsche's just going to stand a few rows back, so if it does kick off, it gives him time to limp away whilst the meat shield's there.
Can you imagine a battlefield full of cursed people?
Would Anvil survive? Because that's over probably 500 players all marching out cursed, potentially.
Yeah, it must be.
Shall we go to you, Kerry? You've had to
Yeah.
put up with our...
You know, I actually...
not Nathan's? Tristan's.
Nathan.
Do you know
Battlefield
anyone's name today?
No, I'm
Sir Nathan.
Sir Nathan.
That's my next
Sir
character.
Nathan.
I think it's my friend Nathan. He's had a son today, so probably that.
Oh,
He's had a son.
congratulations,
Yeah,
Nathan.
I didn't know about that. Yeah.
Congratulations, Nathan.
Anyway, so I forgot to mention, actually, I was going to talk about when I was waiting outside before the battle started, because even though I'm non-combat and in character, I'm not too invested in Nietzsche. Like, I mean, we live in the same tent, but that's about it.
He pays you, that's about it.
Well, he lets me sleep in his tent.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And I, in return, help him put on his armour. None of that was euphemistic, just so you know. And so
I'm a space marine.
I went with my Navarre friends to go and see off the battle, just because it does look just so awesome.
Oh, yeah, it's a really good part of the weekend, is seeing everyone off the battle.
But actually, we were stopped by some referees on our way to the gate, because I didn't realise, I mean, I don't have any weapons anyway, but for anyone listening, if you aren't going to play combat, but you do want, say, like a little foam dagger to carry around with you, you still need to get it weapons checked. Because obviously, I didn't have any weapons, so it didn't, you know, it hadn't occurred to me because it hadn't mattered to me, but it hadn't occurred to my friends either, who I was with, because I think they were quite new to Anvil. One of them was the first time. I think the other one had been there like once or twice before. And yeah, so we got stopped by the referees and they had to do a quick weapons check. It's like, no, you can't be walking around with, you know, unlicensed weaponry.
You
I mean,
got a
that's
license
not
for
what they
that.
said, but yeah. So yeah, I just thought I'd drop that in just in case anyone wasn't aware of that rule, just in case. But I was thinking it was quite a good contrast again with what you were doing on the battlefield, which sounds very intense, whilst I was being a reporter at the academy and interviewing the children on their skirmishes that they'd done the day before. I've got a whole 2 pages of barely legible notes on it, or on the 2 skirmishes that they told me about. There's 3 groups in the academy. There's the littles, the middles, and the bigs, or something along those lines, I think they call them. And I spoke to a couple of girls who were somewhere between like 8 and 11 or something. You know, I can't remember their actual ages. And obviously I won't be mentioning their names or anything anyway. So they were telling me about 2 of the skirmishes. So the first one with the younger kids, they just said it was the less stressful one. And they didn't give me too much information, because the funny thing is, they were so excited to be interviewed for a newspaper, and they didn't remember a lot of the names of the places they'd been to or the actual people they were fighting. but they were really excited to talk about it. So I got lots of really fast talk, especially from one little girl. She just kept talking very quickly. Her friend kept trying to add in information and kept getting sort of like steamrolled with the chats. So the first with the younger kids between the 7 to 11-year-olds, they went off to fight some bandits, and they actually another girl came over and they were like, oh, she was leading the skirmish. She was about 11 or 12, I think.
That's
and
so
she was
cute.
saying how she had an idea to do a shield wall, and they were talking about how
No, kid.
their,
Shield walls, they're a trap.
well, they were talking about how their military tactics could have been better, and clearly it was very much of a learning experience, but ultimately they did succeed on that one.
Did they kill the man or?
They were victorious. They were trying to take 3 prisoners.
If they were victorious doing a
I
shield
don't know.
wall, they're better than Wintermark.
Oh dear.
Sorry, Wintermark.
Hello, welcome to the We Rag on Wintermark podcast, apparently.
They've had their time in the sun.
You've had your chance.
Yeah. From what I get, they just needed to defend the area and hold the line, and they were trying to take prisoners, but I don't think they were actually able
So
to.
funny to picture
So-
kids holding the line.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So they were successful in defending the area for as long as they had to. And then the second battle was the 11 to 16-year-olds. And that was a little bit more, they had a little bit more detail on that.
Yeah.
And apparently that was a lot more stressful, which, yeah. So they were defending an ancient ruined farm in Holberg, apparently, from a group called the Dead Lilies, who are this group that apparently the Academy have been skirmishing against for a few seasons now, and I think they've finally beat them by the sounds of it.
So good.
This
Yeah.
sounds like a Saturday morning cartoon. It's adorable.
It's a
So
Saturday.
good.
They do it on the Saturdays, the skirmishes. So
I
yeah.
love it. That's so good.
So they were encircled in a donut of death, unfortunately,
Oh my God.
though. And they were just kept talking about how they nearly bled out 3 times or 2 times, or they kept changing their numbers around a bit.
Hey,
but-
can children die?
I'm guessing technically they can,
That's
but
fucked.
there was healers on hand.
We really are the bad guys, just chucking children
just
into
throwing
war.
We have child soldiers, guys.
I'm yeah, we do. I'm guessing that there's so many healers that's not going to happen. Also, they're NPCs at the end of the day. They're not going to purposely kill the children, surely.
Yeah, but
But someone think of the children!
Yeah,
I am
exactly.
thinking of the children. They're particularly
So
squishy.
they'd done well. They'd got out of that donut of death, and then they were heading back, and then they were ambushed. I think they defeated 3 waves or something of these bandits. It was they were fighting again, and then they'd thought, okay, that's it, and we're heading back, and then they were ambushed again. And this is again, she was just going on about, oh, we nearly bled out, and then I was cleaved, and then this happened, and then I was healed, and then I was cleaved again, and then I nearly bled out again, and then I was cleaved, and then oh my god. And it's funny because whilst she was telling me all this and very excited, she kept telling me like, well, okay, we need to be quick there because I need to go back to the hospital and help. So very much while I was like there taking notes, she was like, yes, I'm a very important person, which was hilarious. And then I made sure that her friend also got a chance to speak. And when I did, I was like, as soon as this girl was talking very fast, sort of stopped saying what she was saying, I was like, oh, so did you have anything to add to her friend? And she goes, oh, can I speak now? I looked at her friend and I was like, oh dear.
The sass.
It was really awkward. So she got to say her piece, and then
I love how you work at a nursery, yet you couldn't resist now working at the academy.
Well, I didn't really have too much choice because it's just the game that gets thrust upon you, really, isn't it? As soon as you've told your friend at the Boar's Head that I worked with kids in my spare time, for work, he assumed that I'd want to also do it in my spare time.
That spare 40 hours a week you have.
He's made me the ambassador to the Boar's Head for the academy. So I will be going and interviewing them because he didn't really tell me what he wanted me to do. He just told me do something with the academy and write about it in the newspaper, basically. So I decided to interview them. So yeah, and that sounded really interesting. And I just loved how they were like basically like rushing to tell me all this and really excited to tell me this, but also seeing like, no, we're important. We need to go to the hospital and help out. And I'm there like, here's me just writing bits on a piece of paper, and I'm a trained physic in character, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to the hospital because I just love how confident they are. Like clearly, anxiety is not a thing for 10-year-olds, and I really wish that I had been integrated into that kind of thing when I was younger.
I wish I'd LARPed as a kid. That would have been amazing.
I will never
Same.
forgive my parents for not taking me to
screw you,
LARP.
Mummy.
Yeah.
How dare you?
I don't think my parents know there's such thing as a 20-sided dice.
No.
No, I think if I showed my mum, she would be like, what the fuck is that?
That sounds awesome. That
Yeah,
sounds very
it was
contrasting
really
to-
cool. And also, we spoke about our friend who was in the league, Magpie, and his new character.
No, I don't believe we have.
Because,
I kept seeing him shouting at people.
yeah,
randomly.
just happily shouting.
Yeah, shouting nonetheless.
So I don't know if we mentioned, but we, our friend, we have talked about him as Magpie and the whole auction and everything that happened
I
in the last
fucking
event.
loved what we found in the reckoning about Magpie.
Absolutely ripped to pieces.
What was
Wasn't
it?
in the Oath, right?
Oath right.
It was in the Oath, right? Yeah.
Crooked codpiece crook and bite addict commits suicide.
It was magical suicide, apparently.
He was so fucking happy about how they presented him.
How one commits magical suicide, I have yet to find out.
I think it's don't bother getting a curse fixed, I think.
Yeah, basically. So he had a new character who was a Varushkan who on the first night was just seemed fairly normal. He was a miner. And when we bumped into him the next day, he was talking very loudly and happily and childlike because he had basically taken a potion to remove all of his unhappy memories, which had left him with the mental capacity of a 10-year-old. Essentially, that's basically how he explained it. So when I was in the academy, he was there doing finger painting and painting his moustache blue because one of the little Merrow boys had said that sometimes Merrows have blue moustaches. So he'd just gone and painted his moustache blue. And after I'd finished talking to these young ladies, one of the staff members there was, I've got an interesting story for you. Have you met this person? I was like, yes, I know all about him.
God, that's awesome.
It was great, yeah, and he looked like he was having so much fun. The kids looked like they were absolutely loving it as well.
I
It was
love
fantastic.
Paul. He's such a cool guy and a great player.
I saw him point at someone who was singing when they finished. Went, that was very good, well done.
Yeah, that was basically the vibe. He was going around going, hi, I like colours. He was like, yes, that's great. Congratulations. But he was so much fun.
Awesome. That's really
so I had a little in-character interaction with him when he was doing the face paint. It was face painting. It wasn't meant to be face painting, but when he was painting his moustache blue, that was quite fun because I was just waiting for someone to become available for me to talk to.
I love his energy. The OC reaction he had when you offered him cookies was like, no, thank you. And when you said the vegan
No,
cookies,
he said, "Oh no, I'm vegan." I'm like, "Yeah, well, these are vegan cookies." And also, do you want a vegan coffee? Because I was going to give him a normal coffee, the sachets, but then he mentioned that he was vegan. I was like, oh, well, good thing you mentioned because I was going to give you a normal one.
like,
and
I love you.
he's like, "Why are you not single?" I was like, "Well, isn't it obvious?" One more thing about the academy. So whilst I was talking to the matron there, and she was talking about him, she also mentioned that they're looking for a priest of wisdom to do a ceremony on the academy. I don't know what that would be called again.
A ritual? Hallowing?
Maybe hallowing. Or they wanted it to be hallowed, I think, with wisdom.
I love the things they get. I knew someone who wanted a bottle of bees, hallowing with vigilance so no one would knock over the bottle of bees.
I love that.
Didn't someone in Wintermark get a potato hallowed once?
Probably.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
That sounds like a Marcher thing to do.
Oh no, I was going through Varushka actually on the night market and they were trying to get a marrow harrowed or something like that. They were carrying around a giant marrow. She's like, I think you're going to get harrowed and,
Harrowed?
I can't.
Harrow the marrow!
Yeah, exactly.
I thought you were mangling the word marrow. I was like,
No, literally a vegetable.
Should I get my cane hallowed?
So
yes.
the staff member who was working at the academy telling me about the wisdom priest hunt was asking me to add that into the newspaper. So I need to start writing articles for that. I have a little bit more to talk about, but do you have anything to say?
Whilst you were off at battle, it was the first time I was wandering around Anvil, seeing what it was like. It was like a ghost town compared to usual. You forget how many people are there for combat.
Do you want to know something really funny for me was I had a moment where in my head, I was like, oh, yeah, but it's not everyone. It's only half of them because the other half battled on the Saturday. And then I went, oh, wait, hang on, no, this isn't a real thing. Those people are also on the field. But, like, my brain had just kind of autofilled the fact that, my brain had just shoot out because only half the Empire's fighting.
Something interesting I noticed that you won't have because you've been to every battle is the further you guys seem to get into the woods, it is really hard to hear and see anything going on. Obviously, you can see like the fighting straight through the Sentinel gate in the big field. But when you go further deep into that woods, you can't hear anything. So it is like you guys have completely left the plane and are fighting at a war. I'm like, how are they doing? How far out? Tom, you're an idiot. They're just at the other side of that
tell you what,
fence.
Doesn't matter how many times I'm in that forest though. Don't know my way around it. Don't know where
Yeah.
anything is. Like I'm just every time I'm like, this could be a completely new forest. I could be somewhere completely different right now.
I do want to get onto an open field battle, just see the league getting into flanks
I've
and
been-
doing what we do properly.
I've been in one. It was boring.
So, but yes, one of the things I did when you were at battle was go and visit my friend at Questionable Decisions. So he was originally within the league.
Yes. I've seen this guy on Facebook.
Yeah, lovely chap.
Have we discussed his menu yet? Because it's quite interesting.
It's quite an interesting menu. You roll for the insides of your sandwiches and whatnot. And
He keeps a list of like what people have had and who's been like the most, disgusted basically by it, and what he thinks is the worst versus what people have complained about the most is apparently not the same.
So go on. Have you got an example?
I didn't buy any of his food.
It's a shame.
I went to go and visit him. I promised I would, but I'd already eaten and he closed up serving food by
Yeah.
Sunday. But what I did go to buy was buy one of his lovely feathers, because he'd done some lovely coloured feathers. And me being a leaguishman was like, I need a
Love me
coloured
a
feather for my hat.
Is he the same character?
Yes, actually.
is he? Oh,
He went to the egregore and got transferred over.
It's really common for people to IC move to Navarre because it's really
Yeah.
easy to IC move to Navarre because Navarre's all about the great dance. And
I think he said his partner was quite interested in Navarre,
Yeah.
and I think he spent some time over there and just got to really like their shtick.
they're
I
very
wonder what
welcome.
that's like.
They indoctrinate you in. It's all
Yeah,
intentional.
they are trying to.
But he also couldn't go to battle because he buggered up his leg. He had a crutch, but he made it look all wooden and barked and
that's
whatnot. But so yeah, that was another. Apparently, people at Empire have really weak ankles. Maybe it's got something to do with wearing heavy armor on uneven ground.
I think also the fact that for the majority of the year they're not wearing heavy armor. You don't really train
But
for
also,
the armor.
what shoes do you wear?
I wear my battle boots and my normal lark
Yeah.
boots, which might
Have
not
they
give the
got
best.
good ankle support?
No,
I don't know,
they
but
won't do.
I've got some ankle braces now to take into battle.
See, I reckon a lot of people don't wear proper ankle support. And I
Yeah.
reckon that's why a lot of ankles get fucked. Because I wear leather boots that cover my ankles, but they don't necessarily have good ankle support. But I guess I've just been lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to buy a feather for him. Prosperity prices. I think I paid £1.50 £1.
Fuck me.
I'm a man who likes a feather.
That's a
Yeah.
lot of fucking money.
Yeah, but for you,
So he's a good guy.
You'd spend it on Liao or
I've spent it on
other
booze.
things.
Useful things.
With booze.
Looking good in the league is useful.
I've spent a crown on a metal ring before.
Yeah. Plus, he kind of made the feather especially for me, so I'm like, yeah. I'll pay.
Well, if it's a custom job.
He was trying to sell me one, but I didn't think it really fit with my vibe.
No. But yeah, it was great seeing him again and catching up. I also decided this would be the perfect opportunity to go to God because I sold my business.
Yes, you're coming. You're taking to the field.
Yes, I sold my business and instead bought myself a military unit.
What's your
Yes.
business? The smut business.
No, my business was being a cobbler.
Oh, yeah, of
But since the floods of Tasato came down and made trade hard, made importing leather difficult, and made just getting around in a mobile cobbling business difficult, I decided to pack up, recruit in the biggest inverted commas you could get, volunteers from local bars and pubs around I say local, pubs from around the Empire and ship them off to battlefields.
And you say volunteers, you were chucking crowns at the bottom of glasses.
Yeah. God save the Empress. Oh no, virtue save the Empress.
All
Chucking
of you
them
to say crowns definitely rings.
Or, the ones that pass out, just scooping them into a cart. And
Chuck them on the cart, they
you're
wake-
on the front line now, boy.
They wake up in Nietzsche's colours and like, what the fuck is going on? Dump him on the field, off you pop, kick him up the arse.
Sword in hand. My barstool bastards, as I call them.
Excellent.
I just love you. You sound like you're coming up with a right,
I
proper
have
military unit.
The company of the Golden Roses, and you have.
The barstool bastards.
I love it.
I really love playing a leaguishman who's comes from poverty and the gutter and become a guild leader somehow and just turn the whole thing on its head. I like looking scruffy because I stand out more.
You do make me want to have a military, just with all the downtime stuff. It does sound really interesting, though. I do need a herb garden because I do intend on.
You do get herbs sometimes.
Sometimes.
But I have
But
to
also,
say,
you can sell things you get to get herbs.
Yeah, but that's
Effort.
more effort.
I have to say, I'm going to miss getting the solid cash of the business and the simplicity of that. But I've had more roleplay in the first 5 minutes of having that military unit than in the entire season. Well, the entire 4 Empire events this year.
Also, I got a throne and 7 crowns last event.
Yeah, apparently it goes up and down a lot.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
it's good.
You
That
got
is
4
crazy.
crowns?
I got 4 crowns because of those fucking floods. The damage got fixed into Sarda this time, so it would have been better by next season. But no, I won't get into that because
It's
that
fun to have
skews
the
people's
gamble, though,
choices.
isn't it?
But hearing about what you did with your military unit and sending them off on an adventure, what creative ideas, like coming up with the Barstool Bastards. I think we were joking on the way to York's Froth meet. You're like, what would your military unit be like? It's like, they'd be just like random recruits from the dregs of society put out into a basic uniform and shipped off to the field.
I think you should get a fleet.
Yeah?
Yeah, because you're a Corsair.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Have a fleet and then you can go do shit.
But I feel like it doesn't make too much sense for me to have a fleet or a military unit if I'm not going to take to the field.
Yeah, it does. Because, like, if you think generals have to take the field, you just have to tell them what to do. And you're like, I don't come to Anvil to fight, I come to Anvil to do business.
Yes.
That's a valid path.
But no, I had such a great role-playing experience, or 2 people did, because as soon as I got the military unit, I was walking back to Navarre, I think, to find you,
Yeah.
when I was approached by a freeborn, and a Navari. One trying to get me onto a mission to bust up the slave trade, and another to go to Brickelion, and they both had like this
guessing the
debate
freeborn was
of
against
why
the
I
slave
should
trade.
go
That was
to each of these different nations, on these different missions, and contribute 9 numbers. It was fantastic. Unfortunately, I was very knackered at this point, and I couldn't be bothered playing to the Navari aren't real shtick. It was a lost opportunity.
The Navari aren't real.
The
The
Valorn.
Lord aren't, yeah. I'm very tired now, as you can
Yeah.
tell.
I think you're right, because it does build a lot of game, because you have a lot of decisions to make.
And I like having like boxes to fill in now. I just discovered it's like, ooh, there's something in between, like a little advent calendar chocolate in between Empire events.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's advantages to having stuff like farms and herb gardens, especially if you've got stuff like that. But I think it's one of those where I think that's really good in like a group, because then people can pull them together. I think it's just a struggle, because it's
I just like the vibe of a herb garden. For a
you
character.
go around
yeah.
picking up your herbs.
Like,
Yeah. I love getting my pack and knowing what's in there as well.
in the league, businesses are great because you can get a vote, but you've got to go out and find all the businesses in your city to make an impact. And if they've all got their mindset in one, or you don't have time to meet up, or there's a whole lot of work and a whole lot of different game. I'm interested in the political game, but with how invested I am in my guild and my military shtick and being mercenaries, I don't have time to get the political game as good as I would want it to be.
I mean, you can get to a point if you've got a guild, you can be like, you can start talking to them about who should have what resource, and be like, right, a few of us should have businesses, and then we can work together to place votes.
Well, I go to the Merchant Princess now, which is dipping my toe into the political game, but I still don't really understand too much what's going on. I'm a very new prince, and we're completely broke, so we don't have clout.
Yeah.
It's getting up the ladder to get that clout.
I think it's difficult, but I think
I feel like you'd probably start to lose something from Empire if you had your fingers in too many pies.
Yeah.
You want to find 1 or 2 things that really interest you and stick to that.
I think it's quite nice. We've all got quite diverse gameplay amongst us as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. I think because it's interesting, because it's like I know that if you want to be a priest that can vote, you need to have a congregation, and congregation doesn't give you a lot of money, really.
No.
Like, I think you get 5 doses of the hour, which doesn't convert to a lot. But a lot of people do it because you get access to the synod and that part of the game, which is a lot more interesting than I actually anticipated it being.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a whole other side to it, which they're like all the different resources come with their own thing. And you can do stuff. You can upgrade your herb garden, right? You can diversify and stuff. So you can do stuff.
Yeah.
But yes.
I need to look into that, actually, because that would be really useful.
But yeah, you've got a military unit.
Got a military unit.
We've been convincing you to do certain things.
Yeah, I was torn between going to bust the slave trade or going to Brickelion.
Into the Brock.
Brickelion's what you chose, isn't it?
I believe it is, yes.
Heart of True. Downtime's closed now, I think. So, like...
Yeah, it's stuck in. I'm going to Brickelion. I think General Barossa, before we marched out to go and fight this battle, did put a heartfelt plea to all those in the League to look into your hearts and go and bust up slavery. But I think Tristan wanted me to go to Brickelion, so did Gwyn, and I think there'd be a lot of lost role-playing opportunities between our close play group.
But I think I've got my own IC things I've been telling to people. It's really hard to convince people not to go to
Fight slavery.
deal with the slave situation. But it was really funny because I was talking to every freeborn I spoke to kept coming to me like, hey, do you have a military unit? Where are you sending them? And every time I'd be like, I know where I'm sending them already, but don't worry, every time I speak to someone with a fleet, I'm telling them to go help you. So that everyone, they were always like, oh, thanks. I'm like, yeah, sorry, don't worry about it. I'm not helping you though. I'm going to Brickelion.
Not directly anyway.
No, yeah.
Did you get up to much more after the battle, Tristan?
Yeah, cried a lot. So we went back to Dawn.
Salty tears that it's all over. Empire's coming to an end for the year.
Went back to Dawn. And there was the Glory Square, which is quite a big thing. From one end to the other, there was corpses lying next to each other.
Oh, God.
In the heat.
I'm just trying to picture me trying to keep a straight face when I ever have to play a corpse.
One of my favourite moments was one of the young girls came up to someone that was dying and said, do you want some water? And he went, I'm dead. He went, yeah, no, but sometimes dead people need water. Do you need some water? And he was like, yes, please. But it was really emotional. There was a lot of thingies, what's it called? We spoke about it last episode.
Emotions?
No, when you get a thing, you get words put on your soul.
No.
Oh my God.
Because they were going to do it with smut and then
Yeah, they were. Oh, people are screaming at
Inscribed?
their fucking phones.
Inscribed?
No.
Quick, Kerry.
Oh,
Go to the podcast
come
episode.
on. Anyway, whatever. No, that's killing me.
No,
It's when they do the thing. and-
Pause it.
No, fuck it. Sorry, I'm going on my phone.
Welcome to our intermission whilst Morgan has a
What's this
crisis.
fucking called? People are screaming at their phones right now.
That implies people listen to
I mean,
us.
we are going to cut this bit out. aren't we?
No, I think keep it in.
Okay.
Alex, you're the producer. Do what you want. Where is it? What's it for? Testimony.
That's not the word I was thinking of.
Fuck me. So people were getting like testimonies put on them. So the Lord that I told you that died in the field had been there for ages, got testimonied. There was some beautiful speeches. There was a lot of sadness. A lot of people talking about, they shouldn't have died, or people should have been there to help them. A lot of kind of conversation about glorious dead and stuff like this, and then we passing through the labyrinth. Jokes of, well, they went through the labyrinth so quickly they came out yesterday, and it was really emotional. I am torn whether or not to talk about this because it's an icy opinion. We can, in fact, I'll say it and we'll decide whether or not to take it out. Because at the end, there was a lot of people very, very angry at the Druge. And there was a lot of vengeance in the air, which is not good. It would just felt very kind of like, fuck the Druge, we'll take our vengeance out on them. It's like, it's not why we should be doing this. We should be doing this for glory, we should do this for virtues. And it was a really interesting moment where Tristan's kind of looking at all these people being like, death the Druge, fuck them, take them off the face of the earth, we hate them, they shouldn't have done this. And just having this moment of like, it's not what this should be about. This isn't, hate isn't the way forward kind of thing. But it was funny. That's very much an IC opinion but it was just this moment where I was kind of
change things, saying hate shouldn't be the way forward.
But yeah, seeing all this kind of like vengeance-y vibe on the field was a bit worrying. And I don't know whether or not that's too much of an IC opinion thing to say. I think I'm stealing the LARP noobs catchphrases. Remember, we're idiots. Like completely IC opinion. I don't want this to influence how people feel.
The way you make it sound, people are just waiting at the monster area with crowbars, like you gave us hell, didn't you?
Oh God,
ready for hell back.
But it was just a really interesting moment of being like, it was a moment for Tristan to be this kind of it was like a complex thing. I was like, I know I'm heartbroken about this, but I know the people I know that have died wouldn't. Well, you can't speak for the dead, but I'm like, I don't think they'd want this.
Yeah,
they wouldn't want us to be angry and vengeful. They'd want us to seek glory, seek virtue, and do it in the name of the empire, not in the name of the Druge, which is what they're doing. But,
Yeah.
So, you're the only one who's experienced all the battles. Was this Sunday's battle harder than Zenith last time? Because that one was a pounding as well.
Zenith for me wasn't hard because I was
Oh, you were on escort
on an
mission.
escort mission, which is really interesting, but I didn't face the brutality of it. I do think this was one of the hardest for me, and I think if I wasn't souped up the
You
way
could
I
have
was,
been
I don't think I would have come back. Or at least I think people close to me would have died. Because I wouldn't have been... So there's points where I was having to carry people off, taking loads of hits, and I wouldn't have been able to take those hits.
Ooh, sorry.
What?
Did you have to use that potion?
Which potion?
The super special potion.
Yeah, so he did mention I was in a fuck ton of debt. Like so much debt. Like breaking the banks of our house debt. Didn't have to use any of it. It was alright. Well, actually, correction, didn't have the chance to use it because the person I would have used it on, I didn't see them fall.
Rip your person, but save your account.
Oh, that 10 thrones, dude.
It's a lot of money.
10 thrones.
For some people, that's chump change.
I don't think that's chump change for right. Well, I don't think 10 thrones is chump change, but it's not like this will bankrupt us change.
Still, you didn't spend 26 thrones on a cod piece with one ring on it, allegedly.
That is very true. And then the other thing I did was one of the knight errants, who I was one of the first people I met at E1, became a noble. Ooh. And we watched their ennobling ceremony, which was awesome to see. It was a really good performance, going through all the things they'd done, because they'd done some truly amazing stuff, like to get this nobility. Watching their kind of like the ceremony of it happening was really cool. There's some really good photos of it done by agent, I think it's Agent Ben Smith. We've got some really good photos.
He does great stuff.
He does some amazing photography. I love some of the stuff he's got. But some really good, really well captured moments from that, with the classic Tristan squint as he tried to focus, and then Tristan smiling when he saw the photographer and being like, "Oh, act natural and happy." But it was awesome moment, and that is more or less what I did. It was the usual kind of petering out of an event thing. It was like wait for stuff to finish up and wrap up. But it was a very emotional end.
Do you have any closing activities, Kerry?
Yeah, there's one more main thing that I did on the Sunday, which was the auction that I went to.
Ooh. You keep saying auction. Are you putting orcs back into slavery by chance?
Can you not even make the joke?
See,
because I'm already in trouble with the orc camp.
But this is the thing, though, because this is why I brought it up last time, because I do think you put emphasis on the orc. I'm glad someone else has said it, because I keep hearing it sounds like you say
How
orc.
am I supposed to say it?
Auction.
Oh.
It's not auction.
Right,
Auction.
comment down below. How do you say
I
it?
say auction.
Spell it out
Maybe I'm putting
phonetically.
emphasis on the orc as
Auction.
well.
Oh, you racist.
What's going on?
How about herbs under the hammer? Can I say that?
That sounds like a TV show at Empire.
What's his face? We did used to do Homes
Oh my
Under the
god,
Hammer.
I need to do my own auction called Herbs Under the Hammer and
get
just
mullet
sell
and some
herbs.
fake tan. And,
Anyway, so I went to an auction in the league where it's a multi-nation collective anyway, so that's quite nice. My freeborn friend is associated with them, I believe, and I reintroduced myself to the person, or the people who were running it, and got there a little bit early and asked about whether or not I could put one of my potions in for the auction. And I was tired, and they asked me how many rings I'd sell it for, and I had thought about crowns, and I ended up saying 15 rings because I was thinking a crown and a half. And so I ended up selling a potion that would have been 2 crowns worth for 15 rings because they just buy it for the cheap price otherwise. And I should have said something, but I was like, yeah, that's fine.
You made some players quite happy.
I did make a player quite happy, clearly. And
I bet they were like, fuck yeah, I'll take that. Go on then.
And I managed
That's karma
to...
for all your price gouging.
Fucking damn
I do not
desolation.
price gouge.
It's just a funny joke.
Yeah, I know.
It's also fucking
But I
true.
also bought some cerulean, mazarine, and imperial rosefield, I think.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So,
Herbs.
yeah, I got some herbs,
Herbs
from
that do,
under the hammer.
herbs that do things. Don't know. I don't know any of these
Well,
herbs.
cerulean, mazarine is what I use for my elixir vitae,
Don't
and
you use that
imperial
for cleave
rosefield is
leaves?
for mage. Is that what you do?
I think
with
so.
Elixir vitae,
You know what? If you want to know, listen to the apothecary episode.
where it's more researched and it's all in front of me, so I don't have to remember it. Yeah, but Roseweald is for any of you, the red potions. It's what it gets its red, and Cerulean Mazarine's blue. So if you have a blue potion, it's probably got some of that in it. So for your Mage Blood, your Blood Harrow Filter, Imperial Roseweald, Elixir Vitae, and Tranquil Nostrum, I think is dark blue. Yeah, doesn't matter. Either way, I got some herbs, and they were basically just that normal prices by the time I paid for them. It's an interesting auction that they do, where they say a price that's unreasonably high, and then they work their way down until somebody puts their hand up, basically.
Okay.
So rather than going up in price, rather than us going up in price, they go down in price, and it's quite interesting because you're there like, oh, how low do I let them go? And I put my hand up at the same time as someone else, and then he was like, oh no, it's fine. And I was like, oh no, it's fine. And they were like, okay, how about one ring more than that? And I was like, yeah, go on then. And the other guy was like, nope, that's fine, you have it. I was like, okay, thank you. It's quite awkward. It's funny because as well, just as they were starting, there wasn't really many people there. Yeah. And I was saying to them, oh, you had the Brothers of Tasato advertising for you last summer. Those two bars.
Yeah.
And that's how I got reminded of it last summer. And they were quite good, and they've won a competition and everything. And then they happened to walk past, and the guy goes, do you like them? And I said, yeah. He runs over and gives them a throne to run around and promote it. I'm sure it was a throne. And I was just there like, what have I just done? I mean, you're welcome, Brothers of Tasato. I just got you a throne, I think.
That's brilliant.
I don't think it really did much though, unfortunately.
Okay.
They were talking about changing it to a Saturday because one of the main guilds that do a auction on the Saturday aren't there anymore.
Sunday afternoon is so cramped. I think people are either trying to get in last minute roleplay or get packed early to
I think
beat
if
the
the
rush.
battle went on longer, the people might have been having their lunch because it was 1:00. So if the battle went on quite long, then people might have still been getting out of kit and having lunch and stuff.
True.
So they're thinking of doing that on a Saturday next time. So that'll be good. I'm going to maybe sell my potions for a more reasonable price this time.
More reasonable. Yeah, maybe like 10 rings.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God.
Fuck me. The least thing is that I heard of someone selling mana crystals for 3 rings.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's fucked.
And I feel stupid enough for that one potion.
I suppose you've got to try and play it fair, people. The Empire.
Yeah, I think if you're doing that, it's unethical. Because it's clearly a new player. Just be like, dude, come on.
I felt like a dickhead as well at one point because he gave me and this other freeborn a little publication, a piece of paper that they'd given that they'd mocked up, and this other freeborn gave them a ring for the paper because obviously you're freeborn, and I'm there like I've just sold the potion for 15 rings. So yeah. Though I did give them an idea actually for their auction as well about doing herb bundles where you know how many herbs is in the bundle but you don't know what they are, and they gave me 5 rings for that bit of or maybe a couple of rings for that little
profit.
Yeah, for that little idea.
Gets you a bit closer from the mistake, making up.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's all a learning experience, isn't it?
You're only missing like a crown now.
Yeah. Well, you know what, actually, I forgot to say as well, those little girls that I had interviewed in the academy, I gave them 5 rings each for their time and their information.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, so it's all swings and roundabouts. I would have only drunk that money anyway, so...
Yeah, true. Tom?
After everyone came back from the battle, me and the Jackdaws met at Moorish. Had a bit of lunch. We went and refilled the coffers again. So what everyone took to the battlefield, I had them put back into the coffers. So we've got it for next time. I think Reiner got it put into a pack with PD, so it's there for next time.
That's good. And you can use it in between as well.
So that's safe. So all in all, despite the setback of having to spend 2 thrones and drinks, allegedly, maybe it's you spending it on Goose Whisper, Reiner. I'm watching you.
Hey, it was only 4 crowns for the Goose Whisper.
We should still have a decent amount. Not obviously big guild bucks, but it's a good start for 10 of us.
Yeah, of course. That's awesome.
No, there's currently only 8. Hopefully we're going to get another sworn in next time. Mm. I'm on the hunt for a battle mage and a priest. They're my next recruitment targets.
Need to get a magical banner next.
Yeah, that is a goal.
Is that something Esty could help with?
One of our friends from the Ashen Tower said he was going to have a duel with a Navari. So he was like, oh yeah, let's go and watch the duel. Let's go and make that one of our final things, because I did one other big thing afterwards. And I just remember it's like, oh, is that where the duel is? That big gathering over there? And we just looked at that. Oh no, that's the election for the next emperor. boring.
Yeah, it wasn't no one elected.
There was no conclusion.
Because I remember Gwyn came out really annoyed about that.
No, one of the jokes was they were going to announce the winners, and my Jackdaws were going to push the winner out of the way, put me in charge, and be like, Emperor Nietzsche, to which I'm in charge for 5 minutes, declare war on all nations, all fronts, and then abdicate. And then I'd be known as Nietzsche the Short. The question is, was it due to his length of reign or his actual height?
Or something else, which I am not quite rude enough to mention on a podcast.
His penis.
No, that would be Nietzsche the Chode.
Oh, fuck. There is no brow low enough for this podcast.
But no, went to see him have like a little duel with the Navari, which was a lot of fun. Very close. It was the first of 3 touches.
Nice.
But the final...
Just the tip?
Just the tip. That should be our slogan.
Lots and tops. Just
the tip.
Just the tip of all Empire news.
How does that sound less dirty?
Sorry, go on.
The last thing I was to do was bond all of my Jackdaws into the guild.
Yes.
So I got to do a little ceremony.
That's so cute.
Which was really nice. Did a whole big spiel about causing shenanigans around the Empire. Loyalty to your brother and sisters in the flock. Loyalty to me, obviously.
Of course.
To try and make profit. Try and make a name. And try and just piss off as many people as possible.
I think you're doing pretty well with making a name.
That wasn't exactly the
No,
motto,
but
that's
I
the
like
thing.
it. I like
But
it.
it turns out, march up to God to get everyone bonded in. Turns out, this whole weekend, I've not even been bonded into the guild.
Because that's not an automatic thing.
Because apparently, viewers, even if you found your own guild, coven, or sect, you are not automatically part of it for some confusing
So your
reason.
guild is a banner. Right?
So we're a banner.
Yeah.
So turns out, by technicality, Reiner was in charge all this time.
I mean, Reiner and Modesto were basically in charge anyway.
Yeah, but Modesto wasn't bonded in by
That's
then either.
so on brand for the Jolly Jackdaws.
Yeah.
It has been rectified. I am now back into my place as the count, but it's a good thing I went up to there to make sure everything was all right and he got bonded in okay. But it'd been so long I couldn't remember the official thing I put down because I wanted to do something a bit more grandiose on the field. And that was just a bit of an inconvenience, but it was very funny at the end. So now I'm officially bonded into my own guild. I currently have 8 members. We've got a 9th one to swear in next time at E1. As in I say, if I can get a banner bearer, not a banner bearer, it'd be nice to have a banner bearer, a priest, a battle mage, I'd be very happy because that kind of rounds out the things we need. I did have a joke. My friend Sirio, Rob, in the league, he holds the banner for the national block. When we were waiting in the EMU, he said if he dies, he wants to come back as a really fanatical priest, like half-shaved head, really spouting heresy. And the joke,
Heresy?
just like heresy at everything.
Oh, I see.
With half-shaved head. Is he literally going
like-
to shave half of his head?
I think so.
And just keep it like that all year?
I don't know. I'd love to see it, but like, heretic, really frothing at the mouth fanatic. And it's like, that's the priest I want for the Jolly Jackdaws.
Yeah.
I was like, flock, look at this man. You're on
He's
the battle.
captain now.
You accidentally fall and kill him. This was obviously a joke, but I thought I was like, oh, he'd make a fantastic priest for us.
So funny.
And as I say, I think I've had some interest from a battle mage or a ritualist of joining our ranks. So that's going to be my big project next time on the field. Recruit a couple more to my numbers. I'm very happy with the number now.
Yeah.
I don't want to be one of these huge guilds where you're just a number. I want it to be a happy family where I've got impressive numbers, and if we turned up to a skirmish or a contract, we look impressive, but I don't want to lose the personal touch of, oh, there's 40 of us now.
100%.
I don't know who's
Sorry, who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or kind of just winning by recruiting everyone. I want them to join us because they want to join us.
Quality.
And I want you guys, if you fit. I don't want to be too exclusive, but I want you to want to be with us for what we stand for, not just to be part of a guild.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, like, Thanks, Tom, for getting us into this insane hobby.
You're welcome. Your bank accounts will never be the same again.
It's horrendous. I'm trying to think. So I think we could do a couple of things. Highlights of this event,
Yeah.
and then, if really fucking tricky, highlights of the year.
Oh.
Like, what do you reckon your peak moment of the year is?
Okay, we could try.
I've got a couple of peaks. I'd like to say, probably not the official one, but how happy I was to get all you guys to Empire and see your faces when we got to the field, especially on the Friday when it all started to become a bit more real. It was really interesting to see how your reactions went from being hyped from seeing a Wikipedia page to the hype of being on a field, and then the van ride back. Oh no, we didn't go on the van ride back. Scratch that.
But-
we were on the train, but hearing everyone's times when we got back to Harry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think. And then of this event, what do you reckon your highlight of this event
Oh,
was?
my highlight of this event. There's so many. I think it might have to. Oh, is it Contract Quest? Is it Love Duel? Part of me thinks
hard.
might have to be the explosive start of being drunk on codeine and potentially accidentally doing a minor political coup.
Yeah.
I think that's perfect. Yeah, excellent. I think
It's just an explosive start to the event. The first act the Jackdaws do is march out heavily armed to show our support for our political candidate.
yeah. Of this event, Gary.
Of this event, perhaps the intense role play with the orc in the boar's head, because it was so immersive, and the whole evening, in particular, like coming onto the little drinking game with the shots and the rolling the dice thing, quite like that. It's quite fun. So yeah, I would say Saturday Night at the Boar's Head, definitely the best this summer. Overall, the last event was the best that I've had all year. I mean, getting into things in general and getting more plot and more ideas of what to do, definitely.
Yeah.
It's so hard to pick something specific.
It was because my highlight is similar to that for this event, because it's not one event, one thing.
One
that
thing,
happened.
yeah.
It's like the fact that I spent a whole day with something really busy, and then I felt at the end of that weekend that I'd achieved something.
Yeah.
That I'd had this moment where I've spoken to so many people, I have convinced a lot of people to wait my way thinking, and it just that real sense of achievement of something that's to anyone else it's a silly little game, but I was I really feel like I've done something this weekend. And it was that kind of feeling after that.
Yeah, to be more specific, I think I'm going to zone in on the sense of community and recognizing people and stopping and chatting oh hello, yeah, what are you up to, and the amount of people that you can have little small conversations with, and you've built friendships, and just I would say walking down the street and just recognizing people and knowing where things are, and really getting stuck into the world.
Yeah. Highlight of the year though.
That is the highlight.
Yeah.
Of the year, I think.
That's a highlight of your
Yeah, I
year.
think so.
Okay, what's your event and then of the year?
Yeah, so I can't pin down a specific one. I think it was no, tell you what it was.
Okay.
Tell you what it was. The thing, because it filled me with pride, the fact that the Chiefs and Burnley the weekend, but the thing that made me go was when I went back to the person that was lending me the language I've been spent all evening trying to sort the situation, was someone turning around and saying to me, this person thinks very highly of you, so do I, and having that moment because of what we put a compelling argument forward, and I went, it was this moment where I was like, fuck, I just was like, holy shit, that's
Yeah.
it was a very much personal and character pride of people have gone, yeah, we're glad because this house has done this and we're proud. I was like,
Yeah, the in-character recognition as well as part of that sense of community. Anytime I mentioned the Jackdaws or Nietzsche, there was quite often someone around who had heard of them.
Yeah.
And that was quite cool, just by association.
and it was that moment, this event, of me just being like, fuck, okay, so this person's actually gone, yeah, you've influenced this, well done. I'm like, wow.
That's exciting.
Of the year, I can't be specific. I can't.
No.
It's the community I have with House Dulac, though.
Yeah.
Every event, I've had an awesome group of people to play with that have just provided me with so much game. And I feel like, I hope I'm correct here, anyone that's listening from Dulac, I feel like I've contributed to the house as well.
Yeah.
And I've been able to throw
No,
myself
they're just
in
giving you busy jobs. Get him away.
Just tell him
away.
we need some Liao. Just send him and
Send him to get all the Liao.
We don't even need any. Oh, fuck. He's brought a lot.
oh god, we're in debt. What the fuck have you done, Tristan?
But to have a group of people, to have within a year found a group of people to be I'm going to that I play with, I really enjoy playing with, I've spoken to outside, we've made plans and done stuff, has just been this. I knew I wanted to join a house at least in my first year, or at least be associated with a house in my first year.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to be like really involved in doing stuff with them. That was something that I think for me is like I'm glad I've done that, and that's a big highlight for my year.
I think for mine, it isn't so much as a moment or that it was a thought. So if you bear with me, it's going from being Nicomo Van Dyer in 2019, going onto that field with no idea who I was, what I was going to be. I was just a cobbler. I had a rough idea for a character. I'm not getting much out of E1. Going from that to E2 with you guys.
Do you mean E4?
Oh.
E4 2019.
Yeah.
Your first event.
My first event, E4 2019. Going from that to E1 2022 as the next one I could go to. And I'd spoken to you about changing the name, becoming Uncle Nietzsche and being more of a standoutish character. But going from the Debutants Ball with the same thoughts of I have no idea what I'm doing, meeting James who plays Reiner, and going from that moment of we don't have much plot, what we're going to do, what's our impact going to be on the Empire, from that to I am now the Count of Vagabonds, head of a growing 9-person guild who've had contracts, already have their names down, names known in the Empire, getting jobs and people hearing about us here and there, people seeing us on the battlefield, Sirio patting me on the back and saying, your guys did a great job on that field. And just me thinking, I've done it. I've made a guild that's having an impact on so many players' game. It might not be many, but it's quite a lot. And now my next task, I want this to be a guild that lasts long after I'm gone.
Yeah.
For me to have nothing to do with the guild.
But the guild's still going.
But the guild's still going would be the best honour I could have. And the ultimate sign I've been a successful character and done what I wanted to do. So me leaving E4, or maybe even seeing them march back on the battlefield, and like, I've done it. I've made a guild I really like. I've got a theme. They love the theme. I love the theme. We're the vagabonds of the league. And that was the moment for me.
Nice.
Well, and thank you to everyone that's listened to our ridiculous
Ramblings.
journey. It's been really good fun. For anything I missed, I know I've missed stuff. I missed an awesome tug of war I did. I missed countless interactions. There's so many people
This is why you need notes.
But
Yeah.
also people I haven't named. I've only named you because I haven't had permission to talk about you. I have interacted with so many amazing people this weekend who've pushed me to do stuff, who've helped me to do stuff, and could push me in different directions and got me to do things and helped. And for everyone that's role played with all of us,
Oh, it's been
thank you.
fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
thank you for listening. We hope we can provide some more entertainment for you between now and next April.
Well, you say that, we have plenty more planned.
We have a lot of content planned.
You're
so-
laughing for the next 2 weekends, aren't you?
Yeah, so I have one player event and then 3 ILARP. One player event, 2 ILARPs, and then another LARP I'm going to soon. And then in the new year, I have at least one other player event, probably 3. And then we've got all sorts. We've got all sorts of stuff planned.
We're hoping we'll be at least able to keep once a week till December.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to see how things go from there, but we're going to be talking about different nations, we're going to talk about magic, we're going to be talking about the barbarian tribes,
The way.
we're going to try and put as much stuff out as we can. We've got a few other projects coming.
Exciting.
Exciting stuff that we've been working on.
Watch this space.
And then, so we'll, like I say, Fable Top, at least, us, the production company, will be making stuff through until next year. So hopefully we can keep you entertained. If there's
Yeah.
anything you want to hear from us, let us know.
I'm looking forward to hearing your froth that other LARPs. I'm gutted I can't go to the systems this year, but we're hoping we're going to expand from just talking about Empire
Yeah, absolutely.
in the next couple of months and into next year.
I definitely want to
100%.
try Lorien Trust next year.
Yeah,
that would
Northern
be good.
Kingdoms
So
is one
close.
I want to try, or Flying Lead, Hoist the Colours.
I can't wait to hoist the colours.
so
Oh,
jealous.
I'm so excited.
But thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you very much. And we'll see you
On the field next year.
See you on the field. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Do, do, do.
Do.